Wham, one of my favorite motions in the game. Incredible band from the 80s.
Just have him go in week one and let him do his magic.
All right, we got a free lane to the runner. That's awesome. Nope, wham.
Hello, welcome to Football X's and O's. We'll be talking about Jeremiyah Love, the number 3 overall pick of the 2026 NFL draft class. I'm Ryan Studo. Alongside me is NFL expert David Scott. Jeremiyah Love is just a baller. I mean, there's a reason why he was number 3 overall pick from the draft class.
Yeah, the Cardinals are going to be paying a hefty price to get him at number 3, but he's the kind of guy who's definitely worth it.
All right, I didn't mean to wear red, but we're going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals and Jeremiyah Love. So obviously, he was just such a great player from Notre Dame. He just does everything from running to catching, and there's a reason why he went number 3 overall. So talk to me about Jeremiyah Love, his skill set, what he brings to the table for the NFL.
Yeah, he brings just about everything to the NFL. I mean, it's hard to find anything that he does wrong. I look at him as a generational type of prospect. I think he's going to be in the league for a long time, competing at a high level for a long time. And if the Cardinals can put a team around him, then I think he's going to see some great success. But yeah, a lot of incredible physical traits. He has got an absolute just monstrous frame on him. He is a densely built running back. He can run right through you, or he can go around you without you seeing it, and he's got wicked speed. So I think Jeremiyah Love is the full package running back, and I think the Cardinals, if they can utilize him properly, are going to have a real weapon here.
That's a big if, and obviously the new head coach is going to be Mike LaFleur. So obviously they're coming off a terrible season. They draft Love with the number 3 overall pick. I didn't really like the move. I mean, running backs high are not really a thing I like, but at the same time, you still can't doubt his skill set. He's entering a team that, though, they've just been brutal the last couple of years. The offensive line has been bad. The defense. Talk to me about Love entering this team, and can he find a way to still be really good in this league, even with not a great supporting cast? And it's really because of the offensive line and the quarterback?
Yeah, he's going to have to put in some extra work to put on a good display this year and possibly beyond. But yet, quarterback play is going to be hard to come by on the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett statistically did not have a terrible passing season last year, but he was not all that great. He wasn't really elevating the team. The offensive line was not good. You know, maybe even Carson Beck ends up playing quarterback at some point this season. So I think Love is going to have to navigate a lot of issues, but at the same time, I think he's fully capable of doing that.
Yeah, and at the same time, we talked about the offensive line not being that great. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett, the quarterback room. The skill set that a lot of the position players have. I mean, Trey McBride is a great player. Michael Wilson bursted onto the scene last year. Marvin Harrison, he has his ups and downs. I think more downs than ups. I think he's got to work on a lot of his game. But talk to me about, the playmakers that are on the offense. And it's not just Jeremiyah Love. It's, a bunch of guys, and I think it really starts with Trey McBride.
Yeah, they've got a great supporting cast in Arizona. They have a lot of good weapons on the offense. It's just a matter of they have a terrible offensive line and a god-awful defense. So that's why the team can't really do anything. But, you've got arguably the best tight end in the league in Trey McBride. Michael Wilson was incredible last year. No one expected that to come around. And Marvin Harrison, we know the talent that he's capable of producing. It's just he hasn't put that on an NFL field yet. So if Harrison is able to play up to his full potential, then pairing him with Love, with McBride, with Wilson, I think you've got an incredible core there. It just comes down to, can they beef up their offensive line and their quarterback? Once they do that, they're going to have an elite offense.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Jeremiyah Love is going to be probably a 3-down back, so talk to me about what he can bring to the table in 2026.
Okay, let's take a look at our Arizona Cardinals offense with Jeremiyah Love in it. We got Jacoby Brissett in our quarterback position. Obviously, we have Trey McBride here at the tight end. Who do we have? Michael Wilson is going to be
Maybe an outside guy, I think.
Yeah, we'll put Michael Wilson outside. We'll put
Harrison
over here. And then who should we put at the 3?
I think Greg Dortch, is an option for them.
We'll go Greg Dortch at the 3. And then obviously Jeremiyah Love is our running back. Now, Jeremiyah Love is obviously your 3-down back. He's going to take the bulk of the carries. He's going to get a ton of carries this year. But in an offense that's not that strong, with an offensive line that's very weak, how can we utilize Love in a way that is going to get good opportunities down the field for some run after catch or run after carry. How are we going to utilize him in a way that can be successful? And for me, I believe that's utilizing Love in the screen game. He was incredible at Notre Dame when running the screens, and I think we can do the same thing here on the Cardinals. So the Cardinals' offensive line we know is bad. We know the football is going to have to get out quick, and the screen game is how you can do that. So how are we going to utilize the screen game? Well, we can do the simple action of snapping the ball, just a little bubble to the outside. Love gets the ball, and we get our blockers going up the field, McBride included. Getting Love into open field where he can use his burst, his speed, and his shiftiness to get around the defenders that are down here. I'll just put a little example of that. Get around the defenders that are on the field and just make his way up and around. That's one way we can utilize him in a screen, which I think is going to be crucial for them if they want to, one, get him opportunities to succeed, and two, get themselves opportunities to score. So that kind of screen, what else do we have? Okay. We could also remove the running back position entirely, put him outside, or we can, actually, let's do this. We'll bunch on the outside. All right, and then instantly, ball snapped, we get the screen on the outside, go open block, Love goes up the field. Those are ways that I think we can utilize him in the screen game. But how can we utilize him alongside his teammates as well? That's where Trey McBride comes into this for me. And I think what we could have a ton of fun with if we are the Cardinals is utilizing Trey McBride in the Wham motion.
Okay.
Wham, one of my favorite motions in the game. Incredible band from the 80s. And so what do we want to do with Wham? Well, we're on one side of the line. What McBride is going to do is motion before the ball is snapped. Once he gets around the midway point, that ball is going to get snapped. He's going to come in. Someone is pretty much going to leave their blocking assignment. Let a lane open. All right, we got a free lane to the runner. That's awesome. Nope, wham. Get it? Because he's going to wham. Trey McBride is going to wham into that position, and that's where it's going to open up a massive hole for Love to follow him through and get up through that hole. I think McBride, his size and his blocking ability are going to play super well to move him around the field to open up opportunities for Love to get through that line. Not a good line. We know people are going to get through it, but if we utilize our wham motion, our wham blocking, I think that's a way that we can find some holes for Love to get through.
Yeah, Mike LaFleur, he's calling the plays. He's from that Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. So you're going to be seeing, like you said, I think you're going to see a lot of motion coming from this offense because, look, you can't be vanilla, with that offensive line. You have to do some magic. And I think in that gauntlet division with the Seahawks, the 49ers, they have really good defenses. You got to sprinkle in some of the motion into play. You got to have defenses guessing, and I think that's what you can do. You can do motion with McBride. Michael Wilson burst onto the scene last year. Have him do that as well, and just be unpredictable. I think you can do that with Jeremiyah Love and obviously Trey McBride.
Yeah, so coming from the Shanahan tree, that there's a lot of that motion in the game between the offensive linemen, the Kittle-esque tight end moves, the Christian McCaffreys and such. So I think LaFleur is going to have a lot of fun working with that, gleaning some of that from the 49ers offense and throwing it in with his weapons, who I think are of a really good caliber. It's just that we got to kind of get them pieced together now.
Yeah, I talked to Jeremiyah Love a couple times through interviews, and he's just willing to do whatever it takes. A lot of guys, they say the same thing, like, oh, I'll do whatever it takes. But Jeremiyah Love, not just that, like just his personality, I think that's a major part of why he went number 3 as well. Obviously, the abilities is why he went so high, but just the personality, I think he's willing to do whatever it takes. And honestly, for running backs, I think as a whole, it's easier to translate to the NFL. Other positions like offensive line, especially wide receiver, it is not an easy position. I'm not saying running back is easy, but I feel like with Jeremiyah Love, I think he's just going to take off. And I think, again, they're kind of saying maybe, ease him in a little bit, but I don't think so. You got James Conner, like a veteran. Why not trade him? I think you're having him just rotting away in that running back room, and then I think they have Tyler Algier as well. Jeremiyah Love, just have him going week 1 and let him do his magic.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that you should let rip immediately. And yeah, I think his personality is going to be really good for the locker room. Just being around him at the draft and through your interviews, we've seen that he's a good kid. He's a smart kid, and he's very knowledgeable of his surroundings. And I think he is going to be a huge boost to everyone's mood in this locker room.
Obviously, we're talking a lot of great things about Love, but the team as a whole, we keep saying it, is not good. It's a brutal schedule for them as well. So they're probably I'm saying probably, I'm being very nice. They're going to have a top pick in next year's class. Imagine having a quarterback like Arch Manning. I know you're a Dolphins fan, so you want your Dolphins to get Arch Manning, but man, if they get a Dante Moore or Arch Manning for 2027 and pair him with Jeremiyah Love, I think that's, again, another reason why they took Love number 3. I don't love the logistics of it, the money or whatever, paying that much money to a guy like running back. But, man, if they get a top quarterback next year and have Jeremiyah Love improve the offensive line a little bit, man, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, if you look at their schedule that just came out, you're seeing do-ins there. Maybe it's going to be a really bad year for the Cardinals, I think. But if they get their quarterback through that pick that they get for being so terrible this year and maybe grab some offensive linemen on the way, I think we're going to start seeing some changes. But, again, we're not talking about the defense, but that needs a complete overhaul.
Man.
But, I mean, that is let's do one thing after another. Let's start by building up that offense, and then we can focus on the defense.
No, I definitely agree. All right, let's wrap things up here. Football X's and O's. You can watch us every Monday. We also have other offseason content. Please like and subscribe. Let us know what you think of Jeremiyah Love. Can he win Offensive Rookie of the Year?